Hello everybody and welcome back to the Kingdom Hearts HD Dream Drop Distance playthrough. It is time to return once more to Sora.
Wait! Your Majesty! Donald! Goofy! Huh? Huh? Naminé, is that you? Wait! Naminé! I've got a message for you. I meant to tell you once this was all over. Huh? Who are you? Why am I... What? Hey, wait! You gotta wake up!
So yes, Sora is kind of going a little bit out of his mind right now, seeing all sorts of people, seeing Naminé, seeing Xion, who he doesn't even know who it is. Obviously he was running about in his Kingdom Hearts 2 attire, so sort of real world stuff, but then not, and just all sorts of madness. I mean, this is it's a bit of a weird trek, I suppose, through Sora's main part of the world that never was. But obviously we need to do a little bit of shifting up with our Dream Eaters, you know, because we want to unlock stuff and all that jazz. So we're bringing in Josh and hoping that that does some stuff. It's probably not going to be great, but, you know, at least I have gotten one more second chance, etc. So I feel a lot more comfortable. And also, to be fair, Sora's battles are, in general, a lot easier than anything Riku has. So, I can live with it. So yeah, at this moment in time, I think I'm just going, right, what do I need? What should I buy? Because one of the things that you should do, if you want a nice, quick and easy trophy, is to purchase something from every single Moogle shop that you come across. Just has to be one thing, but that's a very easy trophy, and because I didn't do that as I went along, it's become a bit more of a nightmare of a trophy for me to get, I suppose, because I don't know which blooming Moogle shops I've been to and which ones I haven't, so could be blooming anything. So if I wanted to, I would have to go through every single Moogle shop again, and you know what? Can't be bothered with that. So I'm just going to live without it, and we'll move on. Now, this area for Sora is gigantic. It's like just this massive open space with loads of really high skyscrapers. And getting around this place, basically what you're supposed to do, I'm actually kind of not gonna do it, is slash down skyscrapers so that you can sort of go a little bit more easily through a particular route. And this was a moment when I realised that I could actually move the cutter, which does make this a lot easier to do in one fell swoop. It's annoying it took me so long to figure it out, but it's only by accident that I accidentally nudged the thumbstick and well, the analog stick. There we go, and it moved. I was just like, oh, I can move it. That makes sense, I suppose. I don't know why I didn't think of that before. But yes, you can, and that makes the whole thing a lot easier. And yeah, so yeah, what you're meant to do is you're meant to run up to like those structures there, anything that's got like a massive white graffiti mark all over it, and cut it down using Nightmare's End. But also you do have flow motion, and so you can totally use flow motion to get around doing any of that. So because I completely blanked on that that's what I needed to do, I just sort of ignored these and just used them as platforms to get higher up. Yeah, well, it wasn't necessarily my my best moment, but it worked out in the end. I mean, I will say it's a bit of a challenge to find all of the treasure chests in this area, because it is just so sort of big, and because there are so many really tall towers, you can never quite be sure whether you've covered every single tower and sort of all the alleyways around it. Which is, it's a bit frustrating, but it still looks really cool, and what's probably best is that it is so different to what Riku faces, because obviously Riku's is very much in the castle type aesthetic, whereas this is much more in the world. And I mean, you just sort of look at that background and you are just like, wow, this is pretty cool. And the thing that I find particularly fun is that you... Oh god, it's a Skeletal Wild. Thankfully it's just by itself, so that does make that a lot easier, but my brain just went, oh god, no, 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 don't make me face that. But yeah, what I do particularly like is that you've got sort of, effectively, the life stream from Final Fantasy VII just sort of strolling along down the bottom. It's just sort of this strange mist effect that sort of covers the floor, but it looks really effective and does create a whole sort of mysterious vibe to the place, which is really quite cool if you ask me. And yeah, I was hoping that I was going to, you know, just immediately get my 3 quick and easy Nightmare's End / Mirage End, whatever the heck Riku's version was called, quite quickly, but didn't quite fully work out initially. But it's fine, because these things happen, and yeah, you bust this down to get through, but I decided I was going to flow motion up the entire thing, because that's just the type of crazy person that I am. I was thinking, when the hell is this going to end? Because with some of them, obviously you can break them down, others you can't break them down. And it's one of those of just going, how long are you going to take to die? Because, like, well, in terms of die, I mean, how long is it going to take to get to the top? Because you are just, they're going just, I'm just wall jumping here. I would like some clue as to when you're going to end, so that, you know, I can not be just jumping up and it just not being that visually interesting of what I'm doing. But as I said, it's because I'm a crazy person and didn't do what the game was actually intending for me to do. Now, one helpful thing to know is that if there are sort of these blue things all over the towers, then what they will do is, instead of being ones that you can cut down, they are ones that will sort of lift you up, effectively. So they will rise and carry you up a little bit, and that's basically how you're intended to get to these higher platforms without, you know, flow motioning up the entire thing like a crazy person. But as I said, I'm a crazy person, so of course I was just going to flow motion up everything. It's just like, you give me the option, I'm going to do it, even if it takes me forever. I suppose it's partially that sense of pride of just going, I will not be defeated by a wall. I mean, it's basically obviously where all the stubbornness of just being with the Ansem fight of just like, you are not going to beat me, even though it was driving me potty because it was taking so gosh darn long. Also, can I just say thank God for Glide? Otherwise, getting across some of these gaps would just be really infuriating, but then to be fair, you're expected to have Glide at this point, so it's hardly surprising. And yeah, with pretty much all of these, you can sort of just wait for the ideal moment to appear when you just go in for the cut. So it's really not too terrible, and I would say it's one of the easier reality shifts to deal with in the grand scheme of things, and I kind of like that. And, oh look, there's Salvation, which, I have to say Salvation is a really fun move. It's not necessarily the best thing to use ever, but it is useful. In the sense that it is quite a powerful attack, that does look really flashy, and I mean, I'll always appreciate a bit of flashiness. Also, once again, Skeletor Wild being a nightmare as per. I think at this point I can pretty much say that, yeah, the Skeletor Wilds are without a doubt my least favourite enemy in the game. They're just really infuriating and just not that fun to fight. But thankfully there isn't really too much of, well, too many of them left, I don't think. There's a bit that we're going to have to do, but it's mostly just I need to find me chests and collect them, and then we've only got a kind of couple of relatively short areas, I think. Although obviously I say, oh, not got many of them left, and then two appear at once, because of course they do. But what I'm basically going to say is that this is basically sort of final real exploration-y part, from what I recall. There might be a little bit more in the next part, but the next part's basically Sora's final bosses / boss for the world that never was, and then the part after that is the finale. So we are so incredibly close to the end of Dream Drop Distance right now. It's kind of crazy, actually. Also, once again, massive, tall skyscraper wall. I will not be defeated. Like, serious, this is just pure stubbornness at this moment in time, because I'm just like, no, I will not give in. And I think that's a pretty, oh gosh darn it, there's like 3 that are missing in this area, so we're gonna have to go hunt for them, aren't we? There's always some isn't there? I mean, thankfully there's only 15 chests, because if there'd been too many more, it would have been particularly awful, but I'm sure we can find like 3 chests in this area. It's not going to be too awful. Although, obviously, in saying that, I am now back down here, and look, there's another Skeletor World, and he throws every single one of us, because of course that's fair. I swear, these skeletal wilds are just out to get me. Like, this guy just won't even let me heal, goddamn him. Thankfully, yeah, that's done him in. But that was quite ridiculous. And yeah, this is the always fun bit of exploring an area, going, where the hell have I missed chests? I don't know what Veronica was having a natter at, but it clearly wasn't anything of that much importance. Although once again, why don't I just cut these down? That's what I'm intended to do. But I suppose it has made exploring this a little bit fun. Yeah, at this moment in time I'm going, right, where's the guide pointing me? Because I was just getting so lost. Because I was thinking it was mentioning, like, over here, and I think it sort of was. I don't know, it was mentioning this particular... Yeah, it's mentioning this platform here, which I just hadn't decided to run up on top of for some stupid reason. So that means we've got 2 left to pick up. Shouldn't be too... Well, I hope it's not too horrendous. I know the rest of the pot looks somewhat long, but I know what a large-ish portion of that is going to be. So, yeah. If I recall correctly, I think the other one is hidden sort of on the other side of the city. I think. Or, I mean, it could just be anywhere. I think I was going, where are you directing me, guide? But I think... Clearly, I did just reach a point where it kind of said, just run forward. So I think those last 2 might be... over here. Which is basically the end of this area. And what I'm going to do, I believe anyway, is probably set up my final battle settings, I suppose, for Sora. Once we get to the end of this area, because going into the next area, it's pretty much sort of a straight run to that fight. So even though I think there is a point of no return that you can go to, it's easier to sort of prepare now, I feel, rather than doing it a little bit later. But hey look, there's a battle portal. We ain't done one of these in a little while, so let's go for it. Also, because to be fair, if I can get any more kind of health or anything, that would be nice, because I feel like Sora's really low on health. I know that he's actually not in comparison to sort of what he could be. Like, yeah, I think it's because in every other Kingdom Hearts game that I've played, by the time I've gotten to, like, the final boss, or right at the end of the game, I've always had a lot more health. And so not having that was just a little bit disconcerting, I suppose. But either way, that is that entire area, I believe, pretty much sorted? Yes, perfect. So the rest of those chests, I am pretty certain, are in the final area. We've defeated 86% of the nightmares. And yeah, I think it's time to do that kind of preparation work. Because, I mean, we're still not kind of all the way there. I mean, there's still a lot of work we can do with all of that. It is probably time to switch over to a different Dream Eater than Veronica. I mean, well, maybe not. I don't know what I'm going to do. But we are going to create some new spirits. Because at this point in time, we've got a whole bunch of new recipes, new things we can do. So we're just going to make loads. Because I feel that now is as good a time as any, really. And also, to be honest, I'm glad I do this now, because it means that I had slightly less editing to do when it came to the the extras, because let's just say, get ready for some mega fast forwards. Yeah. Now, the big question is, what am I going to begin as my naming convention for my Dream Eaters right now? It looks very much like I'm going a little bit of Legally Blonde the musical. So, Elle named after Elle Woods. Because obviously, Pretty Horse makes sense. That sounded slightly more brutal than I... Pretty is what I was going for, horse less so. Oh boy, I'm trying to dig myself out of a hole there. But yes, now we have the Magic Lampin, which is basically sort of a more magic version of Veronica, who was the Mimi Bunny. So, using more magic attacks and that sort of stuff. What am I going to call you? Oh, okay. So, Paulette, after the hairdresser. Lovely. And now, what else am I actually going to be able to make? Because honestly, I'm not quite sure what I... Oh! No, we've already got one of them. That was Evan, I think. I do spend a lot of time doing this throughout the game, because it's just like I want my Dream Eaters as soon as possible, so I will just sort of sit here and just go yada 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 yada, just scrolling through, hoping that I get to something good. Don't always, but hey, and I have to say I am glad that I did cut out most of these from Country of the Musketeers onwards, because, yeah, they're not the easiest thing to commentate over, let's put it that way. But yes, we now get to create a Katanuki. Obviously a cat tanuki, which is pretty cute. Basically one of the many Meow Wow alternates, and we're going to call him Emmett. I think that's how you spell Emmett, I don't even know at this point, but it'll do. Yeah, named after Emmett Forrest from Legally Blonde the musical. Like, I'm seriously going full pelt here with this. Something you will have noticed is that I do like my references quite a lot, and I will go all out to make those references as firmly as I can. I mean, I'm currently working on self-publishing my first novel on Amazon, and, well, not... yeah, it's basically Amazon. So yeah, I'm working to self-publish my first book, which is amazing! And in that first book, there are a ludicrous number of video game references. Like, I really do go full pelt if I'm going to reference anything, and I'm basically doing the same with my second book, which I've started writing. The first one's very much video game references, the second one's very much musical theatre references, because, you know, I just have to go into all of my different bits of geek culture. I can't just stick to one and follow through with it, so it's just like, I know that book 3 is going to be very literature referencey, one of them is going to be very film referencey, one of them probably, I'm not sure whether I go full on music referencey, but I might do, might go kind of full superhero referencey. We'll see. I've got 7 books in the series to pan out, so that's 6 different types of geeky references. So yeah, I'm gonna have to figure those ones out as best I can. And I don't know whether we're sort of nearing the end of what I'm actually going to be able to make today. I wish I was able to make a few more things, but a lot of the more challenging Dream Eaters to create require very specific components. So it's like the malleable fantasy, epic fantasy, I think potentially savage fantasy. Yeah, that's another one that's quite rare that is required for a few of them. So yeah, and oh look, we can make a dragon quack. I'll go for one of them. Now, if you didn't have the Tyrannosaurus, the Drac Quack is another example of one Dream Eater where you could get once more from. But obviously, in order to get here, a little bit of a pain. But yes, we're calling her Vivian. After Vivian from Legally Blonde the Musical. I don't know whether I spelled that one right either. I don't know whether it's Vivian or Vivienne. Doesn't really matter at this point, because I was just like, I just want to make me Dream Eaters and get on with me day. But this basically does bring us quite close to the most of the Dream Eaters being made. I think there's nothing more we can do there. There are obviously quite a few holes, but I think that we've done a pretty good job of building them up here. I'm not sure who I'm going to throw into the mix. Am I going to throw Phoebus in? Yeah, let's throw Phoebus in. Because I thought he was going to help me. He's probably not going to really help me all that much, but it's fine. It was one of those, I think it's going to work, therefore it will, rather than necessarily it will. But yeah, I suppose we've got one more fight, and then it's on to the next area, and the end of Sora's story in Kingdom Hearts HD Dream Drop Distance. Oh my god. Honestly, I cannot believe that I am at this point now. I say this every time when I get towards the end of a playthrough. I think it flabbergasts me every time when I get to this, because I suppose I'm always going to do it anyway, because I'm just really stubborn. Like, there's not been a single playthrough that I have not finished. Like, I even the ones like when I was a lot younger and I paused for ages doing, like Soul Calibur 4 and etc. But every single time I finished one, and but it does always surprise me when I get to the end of them, because they come a lot quicker or a lot later than perhaps I thought so. But yes, it's all about to go full on crazy.
Roxas, How can you be here? Am I dreaming? Come on, say something.
This could have been the other way around.
Huh?
But it really has to be you.
What do you mean?
There are so many hearts that are connected to yours. You're me, so you can feel what I felt.
No. Roxas, you're you. We're not the same. I wanted to tell you that. That you deserve as much as I do to be your own person.
Sora, see? That's why it has to be you.
Not again. Did they cause all this pain? What do you want me to see?
Sora, don't chase the dreams. They'll lead you nowhere. Just to an abyss you'll never be able to wake up from.